And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bobby Marqueso. It's 98.1 FM and 1220 AM KHTS. You're listening to Common Ground with myself, Bobby Marqueso, and the wonderful, amazing, there's other words that describe greatness. It's Jason Downs.
Hey.
I don't carry a thesaurus around with me. I should. But
yes, I think that's going to be my birthday present to you, a thesaurus.
Oh,
anyway,
thank you.
It's great to be here. Once again, I'm calling in, and I appreciate Patty and Bobby being so accommodating as I travel around the world. I find myself back in Arkansas this week for not such lovely reasons as the last time, but anyhow,
Yeah.
we won't. Wonderful service from my uncle, and we sent him off, and I'm so fortunate that I could be here to say goodbye.
Yeah,
so
that's very
anyhow,
nice.
thank you guys for understanding once again that I cannot be in the studio, but I will be back next week.
I understood perfectly. Obviously, Patty was a little reluctant.
What? No, don't you put that bad evil on me,
I tried
Bobby.
to explain it to him.
As we know very, very well, Patty is just a cold heart. He's just a cold heart.
Well, it comes through, doesn't it?
How dare?
If you call in as a guest, you can obviously tell he's fired up. You know what I mean? You can just
stone cold.
Stone cold.
Like Steve Austin?
Actually, I would like to take Patty to Vegas there, Mr. Rain Man. You know why? Because people were calling in, and the first person to call in, he was, I said, it could be Jason, it could be Laura, could be such and such. And he goes, no, maybe it's Lou. And guess who it was? It was Lou Espin.
Well, this is how slick Patty is. He actually has all our numbers memorized, so he recognizes Lou's number.
I'm going to say no, because a number came in and he didn't know who it was. But I don't know.
Okay. It did look similar. I'm like, I think that's Lou's number because I saw the number on the caller ID.
It's okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Vegas, baby.
I was right.
Vegas.
Vegas, indeed.
I just think you should be a little more understanding of Jason's situation. What? Go ahead. Sorry.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, everything's good.
Been a good week for you?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of slow.
It's all right?
Yeah, a little slow. Slow with new business, rumbling with current business. So, yeah, it's been great.
Well, that sounds promising anyway. Speaking of business, we are always proud to let you know who our sponsors are. We've got Matt Denny and Company LLP. We've got Espin Law, which we're lucky enough to have Lou with us today on the radio. You can reach him at espinlaw.com. You can reach Matt Denny for all your tax purposes at dennyllp.com. Lou, how are you today? Can you hear us loud and clear?
Honey, and loud and clear, Jason. Good to be with you guys.
Or you can reach Lou Espin here at KHTS right now. Call for an appointment.
Hey, call in.
We always try and invite people to call in, but
they never do.
I gotta say, we're not very successful on that front.
No, it's either that they don't call in or everybody just calls at once and locks up the phone system.
I like that.
Huh?
Let's go with that.
Let's do that. Hey, I keep... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so as I drive around town, I keep passing the corner that's going to be absolutely amazing this coming Saturday. It's that corner with Big Bear Cafe and the bookstore, Ben & Jerry's, right there on Soledad and
this is a big
Mountain
deal.
View.
It's a big deal this weekend.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we have, of course, Laura Munoz on to explain more about it. In case you hadn't heard about this, if you've been living under a rock, then Laura's going to explain it to us. But Laura, it's coming together. It's finally happening.
Hi. Yes, it is. It's coming together, finally happening. We're getting down to the wire. Get a little nervous, but I'm very excited. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And we're
the
expecting
first annual SCV Day, the first annual.
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. It's funny. I have to tell you. I have to. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
We're on a bit of a delay.
Oh.
Sorry, Laura. Go ahead.
It's all right, honey. No, I was going to say, so getting back to the root of this and how it all started and everything, just really quick, I have to tell you, so I get a phone call from the mayor because we had reached out to see if maybe we could do a ribbon cutting. And unfortunately, that happens to be the week that the entire city staff is all going dark. So it's not going to happen. However, it was kind of funny because he and some other people always said, hey, you're saying this is the first annual, but it's, we've had job fairs before and we've had boutiques before. And I'm like, but this isn't it. This is the first annual Santa Clarita Valley Day. This is a day that for every year from here on out, we are going to extend it next year. I'm telling you right now, and we're going to start, Jason, we're going to start planning this like as soon as possible for next year because we have 25 backup vendors that still want to hop on board. I get emails and phone calls every day.
Oh, wow.
And I have a list running for 2022 already.
Oof.
So already we're going to walk into 2022 Santa Clarita Valley Day with over 100 vendors immediately.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Immediately.
Yeah, this is going to be an annual Rotary event that hopefully the city will, join in on and everybody will join in on and it'll grow and grow. But that is amazing. Laura, congratulations. And
I'm very excited. Congratulations to us, Jason, because this is our little baby that we're going to run with from here on out. And I'm hoping that, I have grandchildren. My oldest grandson's 5, and I think it's exciting to look forward and see that maybe when he's older, a teenager, and Santa Clarita Valley Day is so big that we have to basically wipe out COC parking lot because we've got everything and it turns into a fair and all of these fun activities. And, I'm always going to keep the job fair. That is one thing that I think is very important. I don't ever want to lose the job fair portion of it because there are so many people, even though maybe next year, I don't know where we're going to be. Maybe we're not going to be struggling as much. But I feel the job fair portion of it is amazing. And I'm getting a lot of good feedback from people because, if they don't have anything to sell, it's almost like they don't have a place at a boutique or anything like that because those places are people go there to buy. So inviting the people for the job fair.
In this case, we're celebrating all the local businesses that have stuck through this difficult time. And we're like you said, it's a job fair. People are looking to hire, so it's covering a lot of ground.
It really is, but I would like to keep it. You know what I mean? Like as the years go by, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Conejo Valley Days. It's a really big day or weekend actually in the Conejo Valley area. It's huge, and it's turned into now literally like a fair, with rides and games and all of these amazing things. And I can only imagine what Santa Clarita Valley Day is going to turn out to be in 5-10 years from now. And I do hope that we have to put an S on the end of it, Santa Clarita Valley Days, because it's going to last an entire weekend. It's going to be so busy.
You're going to need a bigger space. You're going to need
definitely a bigger space for sure. But that's kind of the goal. And I want it just to be something that we can do every year and celebrate every year. We shouldn't just do this once just because of the pandemic and because we're hurting. I really want to be able to bring the community together every single year, look forward to a day to celebrate, lift everybody up. Jason, you got my last email that I sent to all the vendors. It is so important that everybody looks out for each other. And I know in my email, I did remind everybody, help each other out. If you see somebody struggling, help each other out. And the response that I got to that email was phenomenal because everybody is so excited and so looking forward to be generous and be helpful. It's everything I ever wanted. It's everything I wanted.
That's very cool.
Everything.
I love that. Good for you, Laura.
Thank you.
All right. So what does everybody need to know? Give us the time. Give us the place one more time. Give us the website. And we'll
very
let you
important.
get back to your busy day.
Thank you. Very important for everybody to know. We do have event parking. Now, a lot of people are probably wondering where the parking is going to be. I wanted to let everybody know ahead of time. We will have plenty of signs, but the event parking is going to be at the Porsche dealership. There will be signs. They have 2 parking areas. One is to the left, which is attached to the dealership. The other one is to the right, which is separated from the dealership. We will, again, have signs out, but I want to make sure everybody's aware there's plenty of parking. Don't panic. Plenty of parking for everybody. So there will be event parking. You'll just have to walk a little ways to the event. The event starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, ends at 5 p.m. in the evening. I don't think any vendors will be leaving early. And then if I may give a little plug to the Rotary Club, we are going to have also the car show at Route 66 at 5 p.m. There will be a live band, the cars, everything is going to be there that evening so the night can continue on with the fun and the celebrating. And this is a free event. I want to make sure everybody understands this is an absolute free event. It is a walkthrough event. We will rope everything off. People can walk and do their thing, and there's food and drinks, not alcohol though. Plenty of shopping and just a lot of fun activities for the kids too.
Wow. So I was waiting for
so much, Laura.
There he is.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited. I'm going to be there all day, and I'm going to be going to the car show afterwards, the party. So I invite everyone to join us.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day for sure, you guys. Thank you so much for having me on all these weeks and letting me do this. I really appreciate it.
Well, then we have to have you on the week after, right? Because we have to start plugging 2022. So
absolutely, absolutely.
Or at least for an update, right? Or at least for an update.
Oh yeah,
at least for an update.
We'll definitely do an update. Yeah, we'll definitely do an update. And Bobby, I didn't even hear that you say you're going to be there yet, but I want to make sure you're going to be there.
Oh, we were in a commercial break at the time. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I would love to be there.
He's going to be there.
Bobby, that answer does not pass the 4-way test.
Okay, Lou, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
We're having phone trouble. So if it hangs up quickly, don't panic. We'll call you back. All right, Laura Munoz, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Laura.
All right, we'll see you Saturday.
See ya. Bye.
How amazing is that? That's just going to be crazy. Crazy, wonderful day. Yeah, absolutely.
And just all positive. You know what I mean? Just all positive. She's a bundle of positive energy, and the event is just a bundle of positive. Like she said, the community coming together.
Yeah.
And lifting each other up and getting things back moving in a great direction.
Absolutely.
So, anyhow.
So
super proud.
Well, and Jason, Jason, if I may, it just shows the community how Rotary is such an integral part of the community and all the things that we get done. We shouldn't be the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, not anymore. Not the best kept secret anymore. We're getting it out there. So we have a couple guests today. We're going to take a break here in a minute and call on them. But I just wanted to let folks know that we have Yesenia Rivera coming up, and we have Barbara Wilson coming up. We're going to continue the talk of local businesses because they are local business women. But we're also going to hear their thoughts on mental health because they work in that area as well. So I don't know. I mean, it seems appropriate to me because of where I'm coming from this weekend. I could certainly use some positive reinforcement as I examine my own life here. But anyhow, I hope everybody will stick around. We've got a great show. It's going to be a great day and a great week. And so glad that our sponsor, Lou Westman, is here with us today. It's always a treat. hopefully we can hear some sage advice from him as well. So stay with us right here on KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
When was the last time you had a business insurance checkup? That long, eh? It's most likely Glenn Terry time for you and your business. Glenn Terry has been a Santa Clarita resident since 1980 and has deep roots in the community. 22 years in the insurance industry, a trusted commercial insurance specialist with LBW, licensed in 50 states. There's nobody I'd trust more. Call Glenn Terry today and set up your free business insurance checkup at 661-702-6005. Glenn Terry sticks to the mission, not the co-mission. Yeehaw!
This is Jill from the Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program serving children, families, and individuals experiencing food insecurities. Since January 2020, Santa Clarita Grocery has distributed 83 tons of fresh groceries to our 4,655 families in the SCB community. Santa Clarita Grocery is a drive-up, drive-through service with physical distancing in place to continue serving our community. If you are in need or looking for a charity to do the most good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery, one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. A full 99 cents out of every dollar goes directly back to the community. Santa Clarita Grocery operates on a 1% overhead and is sustained through private donations. Santa Clarita Grocery is at 21176 Center Point Parkway in the Oasis Furniture parking lot. Please visit our website at santaclaritagrocery.org or our Facebook at Santa Clarita Grocery to make a difference in our awesome town community. 425-7575. Be our guest and experience the difference.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
It's a hit. Audiences are loving the hilarious Sweet Surrender, playing now through August 15th at the Canyon Theater Guild. This love letter to the classic farces of the 30s and 40s has it all. Hollywood divas, hapless bellhops, scheming fans, mistaken identities, double entendres, and a lapdog named Mr. Boodles. Don't miss this super fun comedy. For tickets, call 661-799-2702 or visit canyontheater.org.
No words can describe the power of belonging to a group of close friends or being part of a family. Insight Treatment Center was founded more than 20 years ago to give teenagers a community of friends and family as they overcome issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma. The new Santa Clarita location is a COVID-secure environment where distance and good airflow are a priority. As a leader in providing intensive outpatient treatment to teenagers, Insight Treatment Center in Santa Clarita is here to help. Call 888-295-9995 or go online to insighttreatment.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
And welcome back, everybody. It's 98.1 FM and AM 1220 on KHTS. I'm Bobby Marchese. You're listening to Common Ground. It's 1:27 in the afternoon, 88 degrees outside. Not as hot as it's been. It's quite lovely, in fact. You're listening to Common Ground with myself, and Jason Downs is calling in.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
And hello, hello. We also are fortunate to have with us today the lovely Yesenia Rivera. She is a financial services advisor with New York Life, and she specializes in working with small business, offering businesses solutions and employee benefits. She is a mother of 3. She recently moved to Valencia from the Central Valley. She has a passion for volunteering, which is why she and I met, basically, because she joined the Rotary and is now the satellite chair designate of the Rotary Satellite Club.
Why does that name sound familiar? What was her name again?
Hi, you guys. How are you guys doing?
Trying to figure where, like, what, how have I heard that name?
How do you guys know each other?
I am your biggest fan, Bobby. When you're doing your live videos and you're singing away, I'm always making requests.
That's
and
who you are.
Actually sing my songs.
I do sing your songs, and then you're never there. Like I sang your song once. You said, "Oh, that's my favorite," so I was sure to sing it again. It's LOVE. Love is dun, 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 dun. See, I remembered.
I love that song.
I remembered. Anyway.
Well, thank you guys for inviting me.
Well, of course. Yeah. Is there what's on your mind, Yesenia?
What's on my mind?
I mean, you are someone who does a whole lot of things. So yeah, I'd love to know what's on your heart.
What's on my heart today is the importance of self-care and really taking that time to recollect, because nowadays, especially as a mom of 3 and 2 of those being teens, it's trials and many experiences that tests you, and you really have to just always step it up to be the best version of yourself and be mentally in a good place to be a good influence and a good support, in this case for your children, because the biggest things I've come to experience in this last year with COVID is, my goodness, mental health was huge with teens. It was huge. Mm-hmm. And I had to get all my children into therapy, individual therapy, each one, just as a coping mechanism, because of the support that I seen that they needed. They were isolated for so long that it really did take a toll on them. There was a lot of, emotions getting out of control, and I had to find the ways to provide them an outlet. So what's big on my mind now is how thankful I am that they're going back to school. I'm so thankful.
Well, let me just first say how much I admire you for taking care of your kids in that way. That's not always the easiest thing, and it takes guts, it takes bravery, and sometimes a firm hand. And I admire you for that. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's a very big deal. I mean, these people are going to go out into the world and as adults, and they are going to be those people who make good decisions or bad decisions. And we need people who are healthy inside and out to make good decisions. And I mean, we have Lou Eston on the line too, who has been an attorney for 30 years and also adjudicates the courts for our youth here. And so he sees a lot of bad decisions, and he can tell you all kinds of stories. We also have on the show today Barbara Wilson, who has spent 50 years as a clinical therapist here, a social worker, and she has also seen exactly what you're talking about. When these things go unchecked and parents either don't know how to deal with it or don't deal with it or are scared to deal with it, then not only do the children and the family suffer, but then the community suffers. So I so admire what you're doing. So how has that gone for you? How has it been?
It's challenging, Jason, because I mean, as at their age, 12, 14, and 15, at first I had opposition, especially my 14-year-old boy. He was like, I don't need that. Why would you want to get me in therapy? Kind of like being a little rebellious with the therapist. But the one thing that I try to express to them and be very open about is, this is more of a coping mechanism where you have someone safe that is going to respect your privacy and is going to be that outlet for you to simply talk about anything that can possibly be going through in your mind, especially with being isolated for a year in COVID, moving to a new town, not really having friends here locally, and having to reestablish your identity and everything that you're having to go through a transition because you're, hitting your teens and it's, you're 4 years away from becoming an adult. There's so much to take in. So it's like I tell them, I do it myself too, to set the example. I do it myself to show them that mental health and self-care is one of the many important things that they'll continue to have to do in their adult years.
And I think it's important. Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's important, too, that it's not mom and dad who they're talking to. You know, they're going to open up maybe more and things that they can't talk to you about or don't want to talk to you about, especially if you're the problem. Not that you are, but you know what I mean? Like if they have something, I wish you just wouldn't do this so much or whatever, they can't tell you that because they love you. So I think talking with somebody who's not the mom or dad, you know, I think it's important.
And I agree with you. That was Bobby, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yesenia.
Okay. No.
We're such good friends. She knows my voice by now.
I'm trying to, recognize the voices, but I really agree with that because one thing that I struggled with, and I'm not embarrassed to put it up, here expose it per se on the radio, is, they were starting to go down the path of being curious about vaping and trying that. And instead of freaking out, instead of taking the route of how could this be happening or oh, not my kids, or be in denial, whatever the heck the parents want to believe, my biggest concern was how can I help them? How can I provide an outlet and a solution for them to realize that this is not the way to go? This is not an answer to anything, not even stress. And this has really helped them. And I got them in a few programs that's going to continue giving them that discipline and structure. And it's really more for developing those life skills. And that's really my ultimate goal. So that's, I'm just trying my best as a mom to really be there for them. But as much as we want to get out of them what they feel, they're not going to open up. I've tried it so much. I've made myself available. And they're just going through transitions of figuring out themselves. So they really don't open up and they keep quiet and really just keep a lot inside. And I mean, even as adults, we know how damaging that could be for us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this on the air and your candor, because I think, many parents may think, oh, well, it's just my kids, or, oh, I don't know if I should do that because, is there a stigma, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many reasons why, they may be afraid to take these steps. And so I just so appreciate you coming on and being frank about what's going on with your kids and the steps that you've taken. I think it's so helpful. I'd love to introduce Barbara to you. I think she's another almighty wise woman like yourself. And I think you guys should know each other either way. But as I mentioned, she's been a clinical therapist here for 50 years, and I'd love to hear what she has to say to you in this moment as well. Barbara, can you hear us?
I can. I've just been here enjoying the conversation. And thank you for inviting me on the show today. I really appreciate it. And shout out to all the moms and all the parents who are struggling, trying to hold their families together, trying to keep your kids on the right path, and and struggling with the not knowing what's going to happen next. I think that's really what I see that is affecting so many people, is that the not knowing. That's like, what if this, what if that? Well, we don't know about this, and we don't know. So the certainty is gone for now. And that lack of certainty is the source of a lot of anxiety just among the adults, the older adults, and especially for teens, because the teens were looking for the adults for the answers even as they rebel. It's like, you think you've got the answer, but you really don't. We have the answer because we're 15, but then they want to come back and go, oh, yeah, that didn't work out so well. But so I just want to congratulate you for getting your kids into therapy and offering them the option of having a neutral third party that they can discuss stuff with. That is a big step, and I think for many, many families, it's a beneficial step.
Yesenia, how long did it take? I mean, How long have you been, I guess, in this process with your kids, and how long did it take before you felt like you were seeing positive reactions?
It's been, well, I want to thank Barbara, you mentioned, right? That was her name?
Yes, Barbara.
Yes, Barbara, thank you for that. It means a lot. It's been struggles. I started them about 4 months ago, and really the key thing that got me to seeing this as not an option but a must is some of the behaviors and changes I was noticing them. And as mothers, as parents, we know when our child is starting to really be, pulled into the other path per se. And when we start to see the signs, and that's where it's so crucial for us to take those steps and actions immediately. So I know it's only been 3 months, but they do have, in the past, about 4 years ago, a little bit of about 6 months of experience, also seen therapists, and it was a very positive experience for them, just due to a lot of things I couldn't continue. So now I said they're older, and I think it would be a proper timing right now. And it just turns out to be that each one of them got a specific therapist ideal for them. Like each one of them got one that really works with their personality. And myself, being that I've also been, I'm a big advocate for mental health because I myself suffer, PTSD. And what are the long-term effects? It really becomes a disability. It affects your work life. It affects your school. It affects your relationships. It affects everything that crosses your path. So if you don't take care of it early on, you're only going to bring along damage and a trail of just almost chaos. So it's either you face it now or you face it after you've kind of, are tired and exhausted. And for myself, it's like I'm going to get them on that path much sooner than later and just put it on God and trust that everything is going to turn out okay for them as they're developing into healthy adults.
And where did you find? Go ahead, Barbara. Say again.
No, I was just saying, I was just listening to your comments, and I thought, that is just such a fabulous step that you took as a parent. As I see many, many parents struggling, I think therapy doesn't come to them as an option, or it comes as the last option. Frequently it'll be, we'll talk to the family, we'll talk to the in-laws, we'll talk to the pastor, and all of that's wonderful, but very few of those options include trained therapeutic skills. And, when we look at medicine, for example, we have children and they go to the pediatrician. For some medical systems, when the child reaches 12, 13 years old, they switch them over into something called adolescent medicine, and the child no longer goes to the pediatrician. The child goes to adolescent medicine, and the parents sign a document saying that they can see the doctor without their being present. And so it's kind of like a little bit of a promotion for the kid that now, we want you to know that if something comes up medically that you are uncomfortable telling us about, like maybe having a little sexual infection or something, you are free to go to the doctor and just get that taken care of without discussing it with me and your mom, because you violated our family values. And so, I think that model could be and maybe should be used for mental health as well, that nothing wrong with talking to the traditional sources, but it's also nice to provide kids with a neutral third party that is non-judgmental, that they can just share what they're dealing with. Because, once kids get to be about teenagers, the peer group becomes oftentimes their reference for behavior. If everybody else is wearing a certain brand of jeans, then that's what they want to wear. Oh, it has to be the right color that everybody else is doing it. So, and you mentioned vaping. That's a real issue for a lot of parents. They don't want their kids vaping, and for good reasons. So, just congratulations to you as a mom for taking the step to say, I will provide this neutral third-party resource for my children to air what's going on in their lives that they may or may not be comfortable discussing with me as a parent. And recognizing that individuation is that's a word that is often used, and what it really means is that kids after a certain age, they start to try out their own ideas and see how do they work. And that's called individuation. Well, along the way, they stump their toe a few times. And if you're a parent, it's like, oh, I could have told you, don't do that. But they do it, right? So I just can't compliment you enough on the wisdom of your taking the step of providing them with this neutral third-party space where they can explore their own ideas and their own best thinking and, maybe process some of that best thinking before they make some really horrible mistakes. And one of those mistakes that we see so often is suicide attempts. Suicide attempts in young people are way up. And, I was sitting here thinking, what if more parents could recognize that their kids need to be talking to a neutral third party about what's going on in their life without labeling it as bad or crazy or, any of that stuff. Just, this is what we do, just like we get our car tuned up. Change the oil.
Before we take a break, I just want to give both of you a chance to let folks know where to find this kind of support. Now, I know, Barbara, obviously, you represent Mental Health Hookup, and you are kind of a one-stop here in Santa Clarita Valley for all kinds of mental health needs. So do you want to tell people how to get in touch with you? And then, Yesenia, I'd love to hear where you found these counselors for your kids, and then we'll take a break.
Well, anyone can contact me. Just go online to mentalhealthhookup.org. We are a nonprofit here in Valencia, and we serve the whole Santa Clarita area. And we don't limit it to that, but that is our primary focus. That's why we started. And our phone number is posted, area code 661-799-7994. We look forward to helping anyone who calls. We do have a sliding fee scale, and we are, of course, private and completely confidential.
And Yesenia, where did you find these wonderful people for your kids?
So a few resources I want to share. Psychologytoday.com really helped me narrow down according to the insurance you have and the type of therapy style or areas of therapy you want to focus on. And you could just enter your zip code or city. And then another thing I want to mention is the VITA program that's specialized for teens. It's out of each high school and junior high. It starts at age 12 to age 17. It's really like a military kind of setup, like a military school, but more than anything, it teaches them how to work as a team, how to support each other, how to stay accountable to their grades, attendance, and so forth. And they even have a graduation program at the end of it. So if anybody wants more information on that, and it allows the children to meet other people, make friends, and really establish long-term relationships. They can call me 661-477-0151, 661-477-0151.
Okay. Well, as always, such a pleasure to have you, Barbara. And Yesenia, this was the first time you've been on the show, but hopefully not the last. This has it's been wonderful. So thank you both so much. Stay with us here on Common Ground. I'm Jason Downs. You're with Bobby Marqueso and Lou Espin, right here on KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Starting July 1st, the Biden administration approved new stimulus funding for small business. Small businesses who were in areas of the country, such as, say, Santa Clarita, where government orders affected business operations, they're able to have their payroll reimbursed under the American Rescue Plan, similar to how they were under PPP. There are also guaranteed funds for any business who started operating during the COVID-19 pandemic. To find out more, visit hometownstation.com/stimulus.
When was the last time you had a business insurance checkup? That long, eh? It's most likely Glen Terry time for you and your business. Glen Terry has been a Santa Clarita resident since 1980 and has deep roots in the community. 22 years in the insurance industry, a trusted commercial insurance specialist with LBW, licensed in 50 states. There's nobody I'd trust more. Call Glen Terry today and set up your free business insurance checkup at 661-702-6005. Glen Terry sticks to the mission, not the co-mission. Yeehaw!
Gavin Newsom is the most arrogant governor the state has ever seen. He's imposed more restrictive COVID mandates than any other state in the country, and yet California is no safer than any other state. I'm Eric Hallaby, owner of Total Financial Solutions, and we've been assisting Santa Clarita residents with their financial goals for over 25 years. Under Newsom, my friends, neighbors have lost their jobs and their businesses. Our kids have lost a full year of in-school education and will now be forced to wear uncomfortable, restrictive, and very unhealthy masks for up to 10 hours a day during this upcoming school year. This is all in defiance to the very science Newsom and his cohorts pledged to follow. COVID restrictions, a spike in crime, and the homeless crisis are all blamed on Newsom's policies. More than 1,900 people a day have left the state of California. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. On September 14th, I urge you to vote to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. We support replacing him with Larry Elder, not a politician, but a leader with sensible solutions. Common sense, fix the state, vote for Larry Elder. Visit electelder.com. That's electelder.com.
I listen to it all day, every day.
Hometown, your hometown station.
And good afternoon, everybody. It's 1:50 here on Common Ground. You're listening to 98.1 FM and AM 1220 at KHTS. It's Common Ground with myself, Bobby Marcheso. And, again, running out of words to describe the sunshine light that is Jason Downs, also on the
show. That's so sweet. Is this the portion of the show where we shower each other with loving praise and ooey gooey type stuff? Because I love that. I love that section.
Is Lou Espin still on the phone?
He's not.
He's not. Oh, I was going to ask him. You know, I'm sure he's run into his fair share of stupid criminals in his lifetime, and I have a few here reading the headlines. That yeah. So. Iconically, there was a woman who robbed a bank to finance her plastic surgery, but she had just had surgery done, so she went in with bandages on her face, thinking that would hide her identity. However, she was hunted down. And even though she had got about half of the bandages off, because she thought, I'll take them off now so they can't recognize. But she was in bad shape, and it wasn't hard to tell that she had just had plastic surgery. New Jersey teens caught dumping a victim that they had killed into the woods after leaving their hazard lights on.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Wait a minute. They left their hazard lights on
to go dump the body.
What, the highway?
They dumped the body. It was on the highway. They left their hazards on because I mean they don't want to get hit, right? Safety first.
Sure. No,
So,
yeah, of course.
You know,
very sensible. Very
absolutely. And let me see. We don't want to read that one. A fugitive was busted for venturing out of hiding to go buy Call of Duty the computer game. Yeah, I
had to have it.
I got to have this. I can't be in hiding and not have this. And then I have a friend who was a manager of one of the huge retail stores, and employee theft was running rampant, taking out huge TVs and things like that. Well, the cops caught them because apparently these employees would go to the back and they'd use their employee card to get a discount on some of the items, right, to just make it look like they were sold. But they used their employee cards as they were stealing them. So it wasn't too tough to track them down. Oh, my gosh. There you go. Stupid criminals.
I mean,
They're here for our entertainment, I believe.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
I know it.
I mean, here's my thing, too, is that I don't even have there's no impulse in me to do harm to another person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certainly not that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wouldn't occur to me. I mean, we've talked about it on the show, obviously, if someone were to harm my family, harm my child, then, we're talking about different territory. But I'm just talking about out in the world as we operate. At my essence, I'm not out to do anyone any harm,
Right.
And that includes coming up with these cockamamie schemes to, I guess what? Just, take whatever you want or steal from someone or even some entity. However, having said that, I have to believe that I would go about it in a more intelligent way.
I think about, and I don't know, this could be just putting me in hot water. I'm glad Lou's not here. But, I mean, sometimes you think about it, like, what would I do? How would I have done that? Doesn't mean I'm going to go out and do it, but it does make you think, I would probably do this and that, and, I don't know. It's fun to think about that kind of thing. You know what you don't want to do is if you're in Florida, don't go impersonating a police officer and then pull over a real police officer. Don't do that.
That is excellent advice.
These are criminal tips from us.
I'll keep that in mind. Well, look, I mean, as a former police officer yourself, you must have come across plenty of instances where you were like, wow. And also instances, like you said, where you would think about, well, how would I have gone about this in a more intelligent way, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's a form of entertainment as well. We watch how many cop shows, how many heist shows, movies, how many, Ocean's 11 type things where we, it's sort of fun to think about how would I go about stealing $100 million kind of thing, right? I mean,
right. But you never want to tell them. When I was arresting them, I never said, you know what you should have done. I don't point out the stupidity. I'm just like, did you really think I wasn't going to find you here? Is all I would say. I wouldn't say, you know what, next time.
Here's where you went wrong.
Here's where you went wrong, son.
For next time.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Were you ever? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Was I ever what?
Were you ever in serious danger ever? I mean, were you ever in
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? I mean, a lot, yeah. Obviously, with some of the people that you're dealing with. But here's a big one. So there was a guy on our force, and he asked me to switch shifts with him. So I was supposed to work on this night. Instead, he worked, and then I was going to work the next night. He got kidnapped at gunpoint from just a random person and took him out on the highway. And he lived, but all kinds of cop cars, county, state patrol, everybody pointing guns at this female. And she had set him down on his knees facing away, and she was going to do it. And then he just, at the last minute, just scrambled, and she ended up being tackled and that kind of stuff. But that was my shift. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, my goodness.
So, I mean, there's those things. It's a nice story to tell your kids, isn't it? Also, if you're going to rob a bank,
Oh my!
and I would think this is a Chicago bank robbery, but I would think this would go for any bank. He gave his ID to the bank teller because he filled out the withdrawal slip, and then he tried to rob the bank. So, again, I'm thinking that's every bank. Don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's it. Jason Downs, our hearts are with you. Our thoughts are with you, and I'm
Thank you.
terribly sorry about your family member. But I'm glad you were able to go up and escape, and that you didn't have to worry about the radio station and being here and all that kind of stuff. So
I never have to worry about you guys, and I so appreciate it, and everyone there at KHTS. This is common ground where we can always agree on the important stuff, right? We have Patty Sweek as our engineer. Thank you to Jerry and Carl, the owners of KHTS, as always. Our lovely sponsors, Matt Denny and Lou Espin, DennyLLP.com. They make your life less taxing. And when experience counts, count on experience with EspinLaw.com. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week.